Hey, what's up? It's me again, Jermaine, and today I'm going to do a video review of review of the Batman Year One film, animated film. It's a film, like an animated film that was based on the graphic novel by Frank Miller, which I still actually haven't read. I haven't read those actually. I know that he had Year One, and I know he had The Dark Knight Returns. But what I'm gonna do is well, he wrote those two graphic novels, but the one that I'm gonna do a review of is the film adaptation of Year One. As you can see, Batman on the cover, and this is Batman Year One. It's a nice little cool cover there. Now this is actually the Blu-ray version of the film, and also the version that I have. I had got a collector's edition of this one when it was originally released at Best Buy. So it came in this extra box. It included a Catwoman figurine, as you can see. The Catwoman, nice little figure. Yeah, and also Catwoman also has an animated short on this collection in this film. There's also an animated film. It's a short called Catwoman that's included with this video, as you can see right there. Catwoman, see her on there with her whip. So yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is just like a review of this film adaptation of the Frank Miller's graphic novel, which is very like legendary. You know, I heard a lot about it, but I still haven't read it. Well, actually, I'm gonna touch on like the packaging too. As you can see, the cover has Batman like a gargoyle with some bats like flying around in the background. So it's, I'm saying, it's a nice little touch. Well, cool like graphic, you know, looks nice. Okay. So first of all, I want to say when I first watched this film, I enjoyed it. I thought this was a pretty good, you know. I thought it was a pretty good like film. You know, for like you know what I'm saying, especially like you know what I'm saying. I've never read the actual like graphic novel by Frank Miller, Year One. I never did read that, so it's kind of I still plan on reading that. But it was actually nice to see them make a film adaptation of it. And this was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed this, and I'm already like a huge like Batman fan, so I knew offhand I probably would enjoy this anyway. You know, but the story is basically about Bruce Wayne returning to Gotham City after many years abroad. Yeah, he's basically returning to Gotham City after many years across like the world. You know, like traveling the world, like training like how to fight and like science and stuff like that. You know, that's just training himself and prepping himself. So he arrives back in Gotham City after all these years. And he decides to take on the persona of the Batman. He creates the Batman like persona to fight crime because you know after like the tragic incident with his parents when he was a kid. So it's like it's very interesting. And that was real fun. I always knew that about the tragedy, like his background, and also at the same time, James Gordon, who will eventually become Commissioner Gordon, you know, he arrives in Gotham City with his pregnant wife, Barbara, and so she's like. So at the same time, Commissioner Gordon, well, James Gordon, just say I call him Jim. He arrives in Gotham City and he realizes that the police force is like very corrupt. Like he beats this one guy, like this detective guy. His name is Flash, who is I thought was pretty cool and interesting. He's a very like corrupt officer. He actually got into fights with Jim Gordon throughout this film. And I thought that was pretty good. But at the same time, he has to also balance the idea that he has a baby on the way throughout the whole year. And the film takes place over a course of a year. So like each month, I know some of the months they skip, I think. But I know like each month from like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, you know, all the way into December, it's always like major incidents happening within that year. So basically that's why it's actually called Year One. I thought that was cool too, because there's like major incidences and moments that happen like over a span of a year, like with Bruce Wayne becoming Batman for the first time, and like with James Gordon, you know, when he had his baby for the first time, you know, his wife she has the kid, you know. But then like the major villain of the story of the crime piece is it's not really Falcone. It's kind of Falcone. He was also in the live action film, the Batman Begins. He was also in that. Because Batman Begins, the Christopher Nolan film, it borrowed heavily from Frank Miller's graphic novel, Year One. And you also have Selena Kyle as Catwoman. Now in this film version of the Catwoman character, Selena Kyle appears to be very much like a lesbian almost, because she has like a roommate that's a woman, and you can tell they kind of like kicking it. So you can kind of tell that she kind of like is like a lesbian couple. But she looks cool though, she's pretty cool. And her and Bruce Wayne actually gets into like a little fight in the city, like when he goes like on a little escapade, and he's like disguised him and Selena get in a fight. And she proves how bad she is, and this is before he becomes like Batman, And then there's also like some cool fights between Gordon and Flash, like the corrupt detective who is called Flash. Him and Gordon also has like a confrontation or whatever, which is kind of like kind of cool. But yeah, in the film, the villain is really it's actually Commissioner Gillian Loeb, the one that hires like Gordon to be on their police force. It's kind of him because he's the one who sends like Flash after Gordon or whatever to take him out. I mean, like to beat him up, like just to prove a point. But then Gordon gets revenge on it and he beats up Flash. It's just kind of like cool because they had like a fight. Like he runs him off the road in his car, then he gets out and then fights Flash in the snow or whatever. So that was like pretty cool, Basically, you can kind of get the idea that Gordon can do what Batman can do. If you want to look at it from that point of view, he probably could be Batman himself. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of look at it from that point of view because he can do that himself, But yeah, the film is like very entertaining. There's a lot of cool action sequences, and it's also kind of like scenes that deal kind of with race almost too. That seem kind of like kind of like racist somewhat, but they're really not. Like certain characters they got like picked on kind of hard. Even some of the Batmans like fighting some of them off. They're like kind of like black guys, So it kind of it kind of like stresses that too, to a certain extent. But it's cool. But at the same time, the idea of like Bruce Wayne like becoming Batman, that is very like interesting. Like becoming Batman for the first time is very interesting. Because after his first like little fight, like his first little test at fighting, trying crime, after he fought Selena, Catwoman, he gets shot by the cops. So he has like a bullet hole on the left side of his chest, and he's bleeding on his way home. And he doesn't want to mention it to Alfred, but he does eventually give in and mention it to Alfred that he's like hurt or whatever. Like he rings the bell, and all that. It's pretty cool. It's very fun seeing him become Batman. It was very, it was just very entertaining. It was like just interesting to me, But there are no like major villains in it, like Joker or like Catwoman and stuff. Well, Catwoman's in it, but like Joker or say like Two-Face, or like the Riddler, people like that, they're not really in here. But the Catwoman is that Selena Kyle, and she becomes Catwoman for the first time in this film. But yeah, other than that though, like some of like the voice acting wasn't really, like for the Batman, the guy that does the voice of Batman, his name is it's Benjamin something. I forgot what his name is. It's called Benjamin something. Now to me, he really his voice acting seems kind of dull for Batman. It seems kind of like dull, but other than that, he was kind of cool at times. So he was still kind of like cool at times, but at times it just seemed like he was kind of like dull, like he was just reading his lines, So it's like he really didn't fit the Batman persona. That's why I would still prefer that it was Kevin Conroy, from the animated series Batman, I would prefer that it was him that did it, But it was cool, I mean, he's okay or whatever. But at the same time, like, now to me, the most interesting character of this film was Jim Gordon. Now to me, he was really the most like interesting character of this story, because it was nice seeing him have to deal with the idea of having a baby that will be born within a year in this corrupt and like crime-ridden like city, Gotham City, So at the same time, it's kind of interesting seeing him dealing with that over this whole year. That's kind of like cool seeing like all the stuff he's going through. And also, Gordon is actually gets involved in a relationship with another woman. So he has like two relationships going on. So he's basically cheating on his baby mother, you know, like the wife of like the woman, his baby's mother. He's actually cheating on her with another woman who's a part of the police force. But yeah, because the woman name is Sarah that he has like a secret relationship with. Her name is Sarah, and at the same time, he has a baby on the way. So you know, and it's like he gets caught up in all these like crimes, and then the idea of this guy calling him that they're calling him Batman, you know, and stuff like that. So you know, it's like a lot going on over the course of a year. So you know, but you know, it's nice and two touch. Now the version I had, guy was at Best Buy and it came with this collectible Catwoman figurine, as you can see. See, she have on like her goggles that she has on sometimes, and it has like a little pedestal that she can stand on. So yeah, it's a nice little, you know. But yeah, so Bruce Wayne basically comes back to Gotham City after being gone away from years, because you know his parents were killed, you know. So he comes back to Gotham City and he decides to create a persona of the Batman character to fight crime. And at the same time, Jim Gordon, who becomes Commissioner Gordon, he arrives in Gotham City with his pregnant wife. So he has a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. He has like a new job, and the story, like both of their stories, takes place over a course of a whole year, which is very like fun, because you know you get to see it go from like January to like February, March. It goes through every month. So like it's like major incidents that are happening between like every month, like major things happening. You know, like when Bruce Wayne first becomes Batman. Or when like Gordon's baby is born, you know, stuff like that, you know. And it's also some cool like Batman moments too, though. You know, it was like some cool like Batman moments where he's like trapped inside like a building, and the whole police force is on him. So he uses like his like a transmitter that he has, and he calls like a whole bunch of bats from his like bat cave. You know, like I was saying, it causes like panic and like you know what I'm saying, it scares the crowd and all that, and the police force, and that's how he like escapes or whatever. Because that's a scene like that was also on the Christopher Nolan film Batman Begins. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, yeah, that was like a nice little cool touch, having all the bats come from out the bat cave. So that was like a cool little touch. But yeah, other than that, though, I'm saying it was a nice, you know, I enjoyed it. But I could tell like the actor like who does like the Batman Bruce Wayne like persona, like his voice, it seemed like he was kind of dull at times. He was kind of okay, but at the same time it seemed kind of dull at times. But he was okay. He was cool. But other than that, they had like some nice animation, and the film was like very like atmospheric. You know what I'm saying? Like when Batman's out on the rooftops like at night and stuff, that's kind of like fun and cool. You know what I'm saying? Then like other scenes too, you know, like let me see what the scenes it was. Like a lot of scenes, you know, they're pretty cool, you know. But I basically enjoyed it though. And it was nice seeing him become Batman for once. Like I said, if anything, it still seemed like that'd be kind of there too at times. Like it's like it really still was enough motivation for him to become Batman. To me, always kind of had conflict with that, and plus the idea of why did it have to be a bat. I'm still having like trouble with that. I'm like, why did it have to be like a bat, you know? But that I enjoyed it. It was a very fun film. I really enjoyed it, and I missed the idea that Kevin Conroy wasn't doing the voice of Batman too. But I'm saying, but other than that, you know, it was a nice little film. So I would recommend watching this though, especially if you're a fan of Batman, and especially I guess if you have ever read the graphic novel, which I still haven't, and I plan on reading that Batman Year One, the Frank Miller graphic novel. Because that's what this was, an adaptation of. See, Batman Year One. And it was actual, the film adaptation of Frank Miller's like graphic novel. And also the Catwoman show. And I done watched this film, there's no question I done watched this over 10 times. I literally sat here and watched this film more than 10 times. I might be at about 20, I don't know. That's entertaining, and you know, it was, you know. Yeah, so I'm saying, yeah, I enjoyed it, so that's why, you know, I watched, I'm sure, there's no question I viewed this more than 10 times, you know. But at the same time, this Catwoman film, that was even kind of cool, because it starts with her being like in a strip bar, and she's like stripping, and then she turns on the criminals inside the strip bar. And it's pretty, that was like a nice little cool touch, but the Catwoman in this one is the more like traditional Catwoman. It was kind of very, very different from how she is like in the actual like film, the Selena Kyle version. Yeah, but I can say other than that, and that was like a nice little cool short film, like short, you know. But yeah, this still really was like I enjoyed this, and I thought this was a pretty cool film. It has like some cool like artwork on it too, as you can see like Batman on the gargoyle. You see like bats. So yeah, the bats that he had, like like the scene where I ain't saying it's based on that scene, but when he called the bats, from out the Batcave, cause that was used in the Batman Begins film by Christopher Nolan. He had used that scene when the police were out there and he called a whole bunch of bats. But yeah, the film was entertaining and I enjoyed it, and I still like the idea that it actually takes place over the course of a whole year, and I thought that was very cool. So you get to see like him becoming Batman, like him training to become like Batman, what he should become Batman over the course of a year, and you can see how you can see how mortal he is like Batman. He can get shot in the leg and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So you can see how like mortal he is, how he can easily be killed, but yet he still decides to fight crime as Batman, Bruce Wayne. And at the same time, you can see like Gordon grow, which is fun too over the whole year. Like like when he first comes to Gotham, like when this baby is born, and now all the time he's waiting on this baby to be born. Then he gets into conflicts with these corrupt officers like Flask, I thought that was kind of a cool like character, the Flask guy. I told they had like a little fight sequence where he had beat up, like him and some other officers had teamed up and beat up Gordon, but Gordon didn't know that was Flask. But then he found out that it was Flash, and he got revenge on him by like driving him off the road. And then they got out and they was fighting in the snow. It was kind of like a little cool touch. But you could tell they give you like a little idea that Gordon himself can kind of do that, can kind of do what Batman do. You know what I'm saying? But it was like an entertaining film, you know what I'm saying? Not really no major villains. You got Falcone in it. He's kind of like, major. He was also in the Batman Begins film, Falcone. Then you got Commissioner Loeb, the one that that kind of like hires Gordon, to be on their force. But no, it was a nice little cool film, and I recommend it. This is Batman Year One. I would recommend it, especially if you are a fan of these animated films. 'Cause I'm a big fan of the Batman animated films. So yeah, like I said, I would recommend it. And this is my review of Batman Year One, the film adaptation of Frank Miller's graphic novel, and I would highly recommend this. This is very entertaining, and I'm sure if you're a Batman fan, you probably enjoy, because I am. He's my favorite like superhero. Batman. That's my favorite superhero. So yeah, this was like I would highly recommend it because this was fun and entertaining and very interesting. And like I say, it's called Year One, and the story does actually take place over the course of a whole year, which makes it very fun. Because you get to see like Gordon becoming, what I'm saying, like his baby being born, the conflicts he had, and then like Batman, Bruce Wayne becoming Batman or deciding to become Batman over the course of a year. So it's very fun. I like the idea that it's spread across a whole year, and that's why it's called Year One, because the story is like spread across like a whole year. So yeah, I would recommend this, and it also had a short Catwoman, which was also cool too. Now that is like real short. I think it's about 15. I'm not sure. It wasn't really that long. It's like a little short film, but it was pretty cool too. Now that I haven't really looked at that much, but the Year One, there's no question. I've viewed this over 10 times. I really, I really enjoyed it. So So yeah, that's just my review of Batman Year One, and I would highly recommend this. See ya. All right.